One of the biggest problems is internet upload speed. And again, every other part of this can be controlled: camera, lights, audio, all good, but you can't always control the internet. If there is not an interactive element or a timely element to your stream, I think it's important to at least consider not doing it live. A lot of times people on company will say, oh, we should do this live. Everyone's doing it live. We should definitely do a Zoom. We should definitely do this. But what I've found is that a good portion of the time, you just don't need to do that. It takes a lot of stress off of a production. It takes a lot of, if something has to go perfectly, there is a non-zero chance that you'll have a problem live. Facebook does premieres, YouTube does premieres, which are basically streaming in real time to people, but something that you pre-recorded or edited earlier. Take something like a school graduation. You're giving speeches. You're not necessarily responding to the crowd that isn't cheering in front of you. Things that, thousands and thousands of people are going to be watching. If you need it to be perfect and it doesn't need to be live, it's worth considering. And believe me, I've lost business by telling people don't stream it live. You don't necessarily need my services. But it's a lot easier and more cost effective depending on the production to just, even if you're in iMovie, just have everyone record on their phone and pop it into iMovie if you need to do it cheaper or have another level of reliability. So I guess what's important is just figure out the needs of your clients. And sometimes they don't realize that their desires are probably not necessarily in the right place. So it's just good to have that conversation and potentially shift them in a different direction.
I think that I completely agree with Ben that we basically when we talk to clients, we basically say that if you don't have sports, breaking news, or interactivity, you probably ought not stream. You're adding a huge level of liability for no return. For that. Now, the caveat to that is that we find that if you don't have interaction in 3 to 5 minutes, the view time starts to drop like a rock. So if you I think esports is sometimes a little bit of or sports in general can be a little less of that because there's something happening and a lot of people are interacting with each other. There's something really breaking and unpredictable in the sports realm and in the esports realm. But for most of our clients, what we would say is that, you have 3 to 5 minutes to start engaging the audience before you start losing them. People want to do a 45-minute presentation unless it's really good. And I'm talking $75,000 to $100,000 a minute. You're not going to keep them. You're going to start seeing a fade pretty quickly, through that thing. You have to have really good talent, really good on-air talent, really good production values to hang on to people for very long without some kind of interaction or some place for them to do that. So, some of our clients aren't ready for that. So they're not ready to have that level of interaction. But when we talk to clients, I think the participatory video is the future. And I think that people want to be part of the conversation, and when we don't find ways for them to be part of the conversation, it's just not effective. And as more people get good at that, it's going to get harder and harder and harder to do just a straight play out and have any kind of meaningful viewership.